And the other day, I had included you. Thought maybe you'd like to come my way. If you had a mind to. Said we wouldn't be gone for long. Oh, and we'd have a ball. Oh, Lord, just to be with you. I gotta know once and for all. Amy, why, oh, why? I love ya. Amy, why, oh, why? Love ya. You said you had to pack a few things. Oh, and you paid just a while. You said I might as well come in and sit and wait a bit. Then you turned left with a smile. We were gone around 2:30. Hit it down to 25. Oh, Lord, just to be with you. I said I felt like what you call man alive. Amy, why? Tell me why. Love ya. Amy, why?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Duncan Showroom, episode 95 of the Eugene and Billy Show. 95.
95, we're alive. It's
Woo-hoo.
95, eh? That's
good.
amazing, eh, Billy?
It's amazing, yeah.
Amazing. Just
Good work. Yes.
we started it just for COVID, and
Yeah.
we've kept
Telling
it.
stories.
So how many years would that be now? That's like just going on for 4 years.
We got to
now.
do math. Count on your fingers again, Tim. 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
Because it was probably in March, so almost 4 years, yeah. I think
Wow.
it was, yeah.
And we've had a lot of really neat guests on the show.
We
and
have
stuff.
had some interesting people on the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially after I ran out of stories
Well,
that I could tell.
it was a good, right. We kept out the X-rated stories, and we didn't bring down any political figures
No.
that we know of. Although, what's Margaret Trudeau doing these days, you know? She sort of faded into the woodwork. She must have got married again, huh?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
Just single and rolling doobies.
Well,
Or
she's
somebody else is still rolling.
busy with her book, I guess.
Right, wrote a book.
If she wrote a book, yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh, I have something I have to tell you. I saw it on the news today.
Yes.
Some guy in an art show. I don't know where it is or where it was, but the piece of art
Mm-hmm.
was a board painted blue, I believe, and then it had a banana, a real banana,
Right.
on the board stuck with duct tape.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
stuck to the with duct tape.
Right.
And and it was in this art gallery, and some guy bought it for $6 million.
What the hell?
Doesn't even come with the banana.
The banana's not part of it?
Well, they have to change the banana every so often because it
That
ripens,
is
right?
ridiculous.
Yeah.
At least with Warhol's soup can, it was, it would
soup-
last, I guess.
Yeah.
The art.
We-
Was the guy famous already? Is that why his work?
Oh, I
worth
don't
something?
know. I just caught the tail end. They were just making fun of the guy that bought.
Oh my
It
God.
actually is sold like years ago for something like $1.5 million.
Oh.
And so it just
The same piece of art.
well, yeah, I don't
New
know.
Same
banana.
I
idea.
don't know if it's the same duct tape.
New
or
duct tape.
It's not the same banana, but yeah.
No,
Oh.
no.
Yeah, it sold years ago for like $1.5 million, and everyone thought that was ridiculous. And recently, it just went for like 5 or 6 million.
That's outrageous. Okay. All right. There you go.
Duct tape too, well,
Yeah. Ridiculous.
That's amazing.
That's
eh?
the measure
What
of what's
people
going
spend
on.
their money on.
Oh God, yeah. Well, people will pay $20-$25 to get a Slurpee out to Maple Bay with DoorDash or something.
Yeah.
Just wild. What
Well,
people have
look
delivered.
at all the people that bought Pet Rocks.
Pet Rocks was big. That's right. Back in the 80s.
That guy
when was
became a
that?
millionaire because of his idea with Pet Rocks.
Right.
Then he had Pet Rock Cemetery.
Yeah, he developed it pretty well, eh?
If you wanted your pet rock died, you could bury it in the Pet Rock Cemetery, but
Lord.
you had to pay for it and everything.
Pay
else.
for the damn cemetery. Jesus.
And people did.
Right, yeah,
You know.
yeah.
I didn't know it was dead.
We're easily at, how do you know if your rock's dead? That's right.
Well, you run it underwater. If it doesn't wake up, it's dead.
It gets cold. Cold and hard. My cold, hard rock. So what have you been doing, young feller?
Not much. Just hanging in, trying to write songs. Not remember songs. not
Remember
write.
songs.
Trying to
bringing up-
remember songs that I wrote a long time ago. And
That's good. Do you have a master list, and did you ever write them down, or just all in your head?
no, it's all in my
Oh,
head.
yeah. Good. So it's good to work on it and bring them.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring them
So
forward.
there's songs. I was doing this one song. I wrote it 20 years ago. Well, Piece of Wood was 20 years ago.
It was about 20, right?
No,
You said
it was longer than that.
longer than
actually.
that, yeah.
40 years ago.
Holy cannoli!
Yeah.
Right. So it just kind of drifts in an idea, or the melody comes to your word, and you go, "Oh,
it's
that
just,
one."
Well, I look at my records, my 45s and my albums,
Yeah.
and I see what songs are on them, and then I try to remember.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Those ones that are museum preserved up on your wall with pins.
You said something about a paper bag the last time. What were we,
Oh no, I was giving you a hard time because you brought them all in, but none of them had sleeves, and they were all crammed together, rubbing against each other. What the hell is he doing? These are museum pieces, for God's sake.
the museum piece.
Yeah, not Eugene. You're still happening. So what are you gonna start us off with today? Good to see the guitar. Something groovy. Something groovy. What are you thinking? What did you dig up?
It's called After All. What's After All? What's the point in going on with the fight? Oh, it's got to be wrong sometime. Always couldn't be for right. All the big heads in the world are trying to get out of the mess. Nobody wants to get down on their knees now. Nobody will confess. After all, now we're all to blame. Everybody, all right. Sure, it's hard for me to pat you on the back and say, "Oh, job well done." Too many people are dying in the midday sun. Well, you get out of bed in the morning and you feel so refreshed. Meanwhile, somewhere over there and over there, they just breathe the last breath. Oh, after all, now, we're all to blame, you and me now, everybody. Boom, 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 what's the point in going on with the fight? Oh, it's got to be wrong sometimes. Always couldn't be for right. All the big heads in the world are trying to get out of the mess. And nobody wants to get down on their knees now. Nobody will confess. Oh, after all, now, we're all to blame. Everybody. Boom, 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 yeah, boom, 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 do, do, zuzi, yeah. Diddle, da, da, don't, da, do, di, do, di, do, boo, ba, boom, ba, ba, dum, boom, 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 baby. Di, do, di, do, di, da, do, di, do, do, di, do, da, do, baby. Bum, 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 baby. After all, blame everybody. There we go.
Oh, all right. Nice.
Thank you, thank you.
Hallelujah. What's the name of that one?
After all.
Well, that makes perfect sense, Gene. I'm sure I've never heard that though. Where do you think that came from?
That's
what
just
era?
one of the songs I dug up out of my cobwebs
Record collection,
that I wrote
cobweb.
a long time ago. Yeah,
Yeah, like Toronto era or
yeah, during the warm-up band
Oh.
days. Yeah,
nice. So it would have had a full band treatment.
yeah.
Neat. That's a good song. I like it.
After all, we're all to blame.
It's a moving. It's grooving.
Yeah,
Huh.
sort of fits with what's going on today in the world. I think a little bit.
The wackiness.
Well, you know, the killing of human beings killing human beings. You know.
That's been going on for a
Wars
while,
going
Gene.
on.
Yeah, wars.
Yeah.
Since Genghis Khan.
So that's why I wrote the song.
Right.
basically.
Oh, was it?
But I think with me at the time, it wasn't just one country was everybody in the world's to blame for what's going on. Everybody, not
Everybody
just
makes a
not just
choice.
one country. Everybody, because we haven't evolved past.
That's
killing.
what it is.
That's what it's
We're
all
still
about.
killing. We're still savage beasts.
Yeah, really.
Ridiculous.
Happy thoughts, eh?
Happy thoughts.
During
That's a
Christmas.
good. I'm sure glad you brought that up, Gene. That's great. No, it's it's true. Let's not get political now. That's true. Well, we can hope for a change. Why, we're going to be playing for toilet paper in a couple of weeks. So that's a good cause. December
bum, bum.
15th. There's a wonderful lineup starting at 3 p.m. Doctor. 3 p.m. till 10 p.m. Maybe even later, and we're smack in the middle in the evening, 6:30.
What happens to the toilet paper?
Well, John gives it to the food bank. The idea, if I'm quoting him correctly, is that the donations slow down at the food bank, so that by giving a lot of toilet paper, the money that is donated can go to food
I see.
and not to toilet paper. So people can enter the new year with their shit together, as John
Do you
would say.
remember when they were fighting over toilet paper when COVID hit?
That was so
I
weird.
I saw that.
I still don't understand that.
I saw the guy in the Superstore,
Yeah.
and he had about 9 or 10
It's so
big
weird.
and you're only supposed to have 1 or 2.
Yeah,
and the woman, the cashier says, "Sorry, sir, but you're only allowed 1 or 2." And
Yeah.
I'm taking them all. He just screamed at her,
I
right?
know.
And she just went like this and went, "Okay, take them." She
Right.
didn't want
It
to
was
take them.
the most bizarre
He was
behavior.
he got so upset. I couldn't believe it.
If we could trace where that came from, maybe it would make sense. But I don't think it did make sense. There was a bit of a run on the meat as well.
Oh yeah.
People
yeah,
were
yeah.
and meat and gas and toilet paper. All three. Oh, whose phone's on? All three.
Driving shit, yo.
You gotta drive and shit and eat. Yeah. So yeah, crazy days. Let's hope we don't see that kind of hijinks this
Yeah,
winter.
it was kind of nutty. I thought, just over toilet paper. It's so silly. Anyways,
So
priorities.
this year our slogan will be "Make poop, not war," which is keep the people fed. And there's lots of people coming. People can donate money too if they want, which will go to the food bank.
Yeah.
That's great. It's a good thing that time of year. And on the 17th, 2 days after that, our last show of the year with Leanie Beanie, myself, and you, the magical trio winding up the year,
yeah,
2024.
until the new year. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we'll see all the folks back in the new year.
Yeah.
And our guest today, wow, someone you've known for many years. How many years do you think?
Over 30.
Over 30 years. That's fantastical.
I know.
And he migrated out here maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
5 years ago.
At
6
least
years
5
ago
or
now.
6. That's what I thought.
Well, you could ask him when he
Let's
comes
ask
out.
him. Bring him out. Brian Gauci. Come on
Hey,
out.
hey.
Where is he? There he is. Well dressed. I love those suspenders. Holy moly.
It's been 9 years now.
9. Oh my gosh. See
Believe it
how
or not,
fast time goes?
Yeah.
Isn't that bizarre?
9 years.
Yeah. Wow.
That's bizarre. Brian tells me you're born in Brandon, Manitoba, which is, remind me, is it on the Trans-Canada before you hit Winnipeg?
It's on the Trans-Canada, yeah.
Like east of Winnipeg?
No, I never spent any time there. That's
Oh, you
just
didn't.
sort of where I was born.
Right. And you, so at an early age, you migrated east? to Toronto?
No. I lived my first until I was about 7 in a little town in Manitoba called Arden,
Oh, yeah.
and that was like one of those grain elevators and general store type towns, and that's all there was there. Farms around.
Yeah.
We passed by there a couple of years ago, and everything was just deserted. Pretty
Oh,
well
was
there.
it? Oh. Yeah.
My dad was in the service, so I moved to Germany for 3 years
Oh, you did?
in the 50s. That was great.
Oh,
For
wow.
a kid, I mean, you're a kid from the prairies and you don't know nothing, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden the houses look like you can eat them, you know?
Right. Well, I think they were probably pretty efficient at rebuilding in those years right after the war, weren't they?
Well, I still
Like
saw a lot of damage.
Was there?
Where we lived was right in the area where the 3 dams were that were bombed in the,
Oh, Lord.
the dam busters thing.
Yeah.
And 2 of the dams had been repaired, but one was still under construction.
Oh,
that was in
man.
the 50s.
Yeah.
No, it was pretty cool though,
Yeah.
really.
Mm.
For a kid, great.
Right. Yeah. You're in Europe, and it's
Yeah.
all exciting and
And we
different.
traveled a lot. We traveled all over. Well, even one time my dad said, "Let's go see the fence." Like the Berlin Wall hadn't been built yet,
Right.
but down the center of Germany was this massive fence with guard towers. And
Oh,
everything.
wow.
So
Yeah.
we went and had a look at that.
So what? Yeah, that's interesting. What year would they decide at some point it needed to be more substantial? But
That
it
was in
had
the
been a
early
fence.
60s, I think, the 60, 61 or something, where they actually built the wall.
Strange, eh?
Yeah, I know, crazy. Eh?
And it must have been motivated by the Russian element. Do you think?
Totally. Oh yeah, and
the
they were
communist-
really. I mean, the Germans attacked Russia, so there was no mercy, you know.
Right. Right. I had dated someone whose grandfather came back from the war 5 years after from a Russian work camp.
Wow.
Just walked in the door. They thought he was dead, of course.
Jeez.
So there must have been a lot of that. But how did we get on this again? War.
Yeah, I know.
and
Well, I
famine
guess
and
it's a topic of
toilet
the day,
paper. So anyway, an interesting childhood, lots of travel. And when did you first begin to play music?
Wow, that was okay. In high school, basically. Well, I mean, the British invasion happened. Before that, like the first band I ever saw, believe it or not, live was Cliff Richard and the Shadows.
Oh, great.
My
Yeah.
mother took me to London to see Cliff Richard and the Shadows when we were living in Germany.
Nice.
And like Cliff Richard was on the radio all the time. He was
Yes.
like the Elvis of Europe, right?
Right.
In fact, he was a huge star. Elvis was just a nobody almost. And
Yeah.
Cliff Richard was everywhere. And we're sitting at the London Palladium, and I'll never forget, I was sitting right on the edge in the first balcony looking out, and the Shadows come out with their electric guitars and their drums and everything. I'd never seen anything like it. And I'm just hanging over, wow.
Right.
So they do 3 or 4 tunes, then Cliff Richard comes on. I'm saying, get this guy off. I want to hear the band.
Oh, funny. Yeah. Yeah. He was solo artist? Or played solo?
Who's that, Cliff Richard?
Yeah.
No, it was Cliff Richard and the Shadows.
Oh, yeah,
He
yeah,
was-
okay.
He had hit records, lots of
Yeah.
them, you know.
Neat. Huh.
So that got me interested.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I didn't start playing guitar later. I guess the British invasion. I was living in Toronto by the time that. I saw the Beatles in 1964 at Maple
Oh,
Leaf
wow.
Gardens.
Holy moly.
And I had some friends that sort of had a little band. They played tunes like House of the Rising Sun and The Last
Of course,
Time and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I thought, well, gee, I guess if I want to be in the band, I better learn to play guitar. So I bought
Right.
this little Kellogg's guitar. You know, you send in a couple of box
funny.
tops and they send you a guitar. And tried to learn how to play on that, and it didn't go too well. But
Right.
eventually, by grade 11, I was getting it together a little more. And
Yeah, yeah.
my buddy and I, we started our first band in high school. That
Nice.
lasted a couple of years. And
Good
when that,
start.
When that was over, when high school was over, I got a job.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, and I was sitting there.
Death to a musician.
I was
yeah.
sitting there thinking in this office, thinking, "This sucks, man. I got to learn to play that guitar better and
Right.
get the hell out of here." So I just started really working on it.
Oh, good.
Started getting gigs and playing in bands and stuff.
It's amazing how that 9 to 5 will drive you to it, eh? The boredom. Well, let's grab your guitar, and before we get too far into your history, tell me what this guitar is.
It's just a electric nylon string.
Yeah, nice.
It's this is actually. I hope the last time I ever use it. I bought another one, but
Yeah.
I haven't opened the box yet.
Oh, wow. You're saving the excitement?
Well, it just came today
Oh, okay.
as I was getting ready to leave to come here.
Right,
So I
right.
figure, well, I'll just use this.
Nice.
Um,
And this is an original?
Yeah, I've got an album. I got a few CDs or I guess they call them albums now. CDs are long gone, aren't they?
Well, not really.
Well, I guess not. One of them's called Happy Girl, and
Right.
first tune I'm going to play is Happy Girl 13.
No,
That's
right.
what it's called.
Looking forward to it. All right.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to stand up and do this if you don't mind.
No, not at all. Whatever helps you feel comfortable. Oh,
Thanks.
Flourish. End with a flourish. So, sorry, what was the state of your recording project? You have completed it?
What, this one? Oh, yeah. That was
That's an
about.
older one.
I completed that before moving here. That's
Oh, wow.
older.
9
yeah.
years ago.
Well, yeah, at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
I'd say.
What motivated your move out here?
Many things. My dad's side of the family was from the Sunshine Coast.
Oh,
and
wow, yeah.
When I retired, I always wanted to move there.
Yeah.
But my mother ended up here on Vancouver Island, and
Right.
she wasn't in very good shape, so I decided to pack it in a year early when I was 64 and move out here and hang out with her a bit,
Right.
and ended up staying.
Yeah.
And not only that, when we used to go to the Sunshine Coast to visit my dad and my aunt and people, would come to the island for the vacation part of it. you know?
Right.
So, hey, why not move to where you go for vacations, right?
That's right. That's right. A lot of migration.
I wanted to ask
Hello?
Brian a question, if that's
Oh, please
okay.
do. No, that's fine.
Have you finished your comic book yet?
Ooh.
I'm on page 80 now, and I'm up to the big climax of the story.
Interesting.
And
Great.
I can't really draw very well, so I got getting some help with some
Yeah.
other people drawing
Nice.
me some stuff
Good.
to put in, just because I was doing okay with stick figures until the story started building up, and
Yeah.
I needed some help. Yeah, I'm still working on it. I'm almost finished volume 2. Volume
great.
1 I finished before moving out here.
Right. Is it a story of a hero or heroine, or what kind of story is it?
Well, the hero's a cat, so
Oh, well, aren't they all? Yeah, that's right. My cat's a hero too. I know what you mean. No, that's great.
but so yeah, I haven't. Well, I got working on it again.
Yeah.
I left it for a few years because basically my Photoshop program died, and I was doing a lot of it with that. But now I got that working again, so I
Nice.
started blitzing it, and I've got it right up to the big climax of the story. So
Good work. Huh. Well, keep up the good work.
I
Nice.
figure a couple of months I'll have it finished, maybe, hopefully.
Good winter project.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, Joe's saying hello from where is Joe again? Charlie's in London, of course. Hi, Charlie.
Charlie, yes.
Echo's
Hey,
still
Charlie.
on. Who's Echo? Our Echo? Could be Charlie. So you said you had an interesting story about how you met Eugene. What year do you think that was?
Wow. Oh, sometime in either the late 80s or early 90s. I think it was before the Blue Jays won the World Series.
Oh, was it? Yeah, that's a good
So
marker.
that,
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah, it was.
whenever that was 92, I think. So before that, anyway.
Yeah.
Well, a bit of a backstory first. I'd seen Eugene a lot over the years playing. He had a band called Snap, Crackle, and Pop. Was that right? Something
Oh,
like that.
Lord, I hadn't heard of that one.
And I used to see them all the time, and me and my buddies used to go see them. We thought they were great, and I
Right.
thought Eugene was great. And I'd seen him around.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, I was at his place one day, and he said, "You remember Eugene Smith?" I said, "Yeah." He says, a buddy of mine's producing an album for him.
Yeah.
And he gave me a cassette, he played me a cassette tape of 4 songs that none of it was complete. It was just kind of bed tracks and Eugene's voice.
Yeah.
And I was listening to it, and I said, "Hey, lend me that tape." Well, yeah, I'll take it home and jam along with it a bit.
Nice,
You know,
nice.
so I did that. And basically what happened was there was this little club just down the street from where I lived. And I used to play there Tuesday nights and sometimes Sunday nights. And I saw a thing where Eugene was going to be playing there, solo. And so I went over. Well, I figured, I want to go catch this guy. I haven't seen him in a
Yeah.
long time. And so I went over with no plans of meeting him or playing with him or nothing. Just wanted to
Right.
hear him sing and play. So I went over. The guy who ran the place, a guy named Big Mike, was a bit of a pain. Remember Big Mike? Yeah, he was a bit of. Yeah. Anyway, I'm in there, and he says to me, Big Mike, he says, "Go get your guitar and sit in with Eugene." And I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
And he's saying to Eugene, "Hey, get this guy to sit in with you." And he's like, "No."
Yeah.
So, which wasn't my plan anyway. So
Right. Yeah.
in between sets, I caught a set, and in between sets, Big Mike comes up, "Go get your guitar, go get your guitar." No, man, I don't want to bug the guy. He's
Yeah.
doing his thing, right? Mike's hassling me, and he takes Eugene in the kitchen. I could hear them, and Eugene's there. No, I don't want anybody sitting. So anyhow, Big Mike comes and hassles me, and he says, "Okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go get your guitar and amp, stick it on stage. I'm going to distract
Oh, Lord.
Eugene in the kitchen with some food or something."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, man, he says, you play here Tuesday nights, right? And I said, yeah. He says, you want to keep playing Tuesday nights? I said, yeah.
Yeah.
He says, well, go get your guitar. So, okay.
Jeez.
So I went back and got the guitar and amp, stuck it on stage, and I was very hesitant. I didn't really want to do this. So anyway, Eugene gets up and plays a couple of songs, and then he's there, okay, get this guy to sit in, right? So I'm like, I'm roped in here, and he's roped in, so I get up, and Eugene, he's got this, he looks at me and says, okay, what do you want to do? I said, well, how about, I'd been jamming along with this tape of the 4 songs, right?
Yeah.
So I said, well, how about New Beginnings? And Eugene says, what? I said, yeah, you got a song called New Begins, right? And he says, yeah. I said, well, let's try that. And he says, you mean my song, New Beginnings? I said, yeah.
Well,
So, okay, Eugene starts playing it, and I'd been jamming along. I mean, so I knew it enough. And the kicker was, when the song came to an end, we both stopped at exactly the same time. and I put my guitar down. I said, okay, thanks, man. And Eugene, he pulls a date book out of his pocket, and he says, are you available? And he gives me like 3 dates right there. Are you available on this date? This, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I didn't know if it was or not, but
yeah. That's great.
So that's how I met him first. And
That's cool.
well, God, we played for a long time after that, didn't we?
30 years.
30 years, yeah.
In bands together or just duo stuff?
We did duos.
Yeah.
And a lot of times what would happen was Eugene, he'd have band gigs, so we'd get some of the local players that I kind of knew them too, but we played with Eugene. And then one day, Eugene had a gig, I think it was in Kingston or something, and he calls me up and says, I can't get any of the guys to go to Kingston. Now, I had this little trio with me and a bass and drummer, and we were hiring ourselves out to different singers.
Yeah.
So I said, well, why don't I call my buddies and see if they'll come and play. So they did. We started playing. It clicked right away, with Uli and Gordy. Man, the band just clicked right in.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
First song,
Yeah.
never wavered or anything. So
Right.
that was band for a long time, eh? We must have played together. Kingston, London, Toronto, all over.
Did that one have a name?
I think it had several names over the years, didn't it? But there was one incident I can tell you about. Eugene and I were doing a duo in Kingston. And Eugene, he plays his original songs, right?
Yeah.
Well, in Kingston, Eugene would do an original song like Amy or something, and the reaction from the crowd would be, Led Zeppelin, Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah,
Typical
right.
Ontario, right?
Yeah.
Well, that was on a Thursday night. The next night we drove to Quebec City. We were doing Friday and Saturday in Quebec City. Eugene does the same set, and the reaction from the people is, bravo, encore. And Eugene and I are looking, well, I guess there's something about this Quebec culture, eh?
They appreciate the original,
Yeah.
For all we say about the Quebecois, they've got the artistic ear. Hold on a second here. There is no echo. Do you have 2 pages open at the same? Oh, Charlie, no worries. We won't mention it again. Good to have you here, Charlie. So what's your second song that you brought
Okay,
on?
I'm going to do, in around 2003, I finished a CD where I had 13 musicians on it, including myself. And Eugene's even on a cut there.
Nice.
I'm going to do a tune from that. Now, it's called Memphis Groove.
Nice.
And every time I do this song, the fellow who played bass in our band for a long time, a guy named Uli Bonnet, died a few years ago. And that was kind of a drag. And the guy who played keyboards on it, a guy named Michael Fonfera, used to play with us sometimes. So every time I do this song, I kind of dedicate it to those guys, because truth is, on the record, they made it happen. It wasn't me. So it's called Memphis Groove.
Thank you.
We'll stand up and do it. This feels better.
Thank you. That's a lovely piece.
It's
Oh,
called
right
Memphis
on.
Groove. Thank you.
Memphis Groove. You know, the interesting thing I find, I don't know how you guys are wired, but I find with some instrumental pieces, I'm inclined to, you close your eyes and you're kind of creating a scene in your brain about what it might be, a street scene, or there's people or things happening. So it's kind of really joyful. It's like a
cool.
musical movie. Well, thank you so much. We burned through our 40 minutes. Just quickly, maybe tell us upcoming gigs you're excited about, or
Well, I'm not really doing I'm retired,
right.
so I
Which
just
is nice,
I
eh?
do things that I feel like doing.
Good.
I
good.
play in a band called the Burning House, Chris Knowles' Burning House, and that's
Right.
that's a swing blues band.
Nice.
It can go anywhere from 3 to 7 pieces, depending
Great.
on what the gig allows.
Yeah.
That's kind of the only actual band I'm playing with
Yeah.
now. I did the other thing. A friend of mine, a drummer, Andy O'Kell, you probably know,
Right,
he lives
Andy,
in
yeah.
Cowichan Lake. He put together a show last summer, tribute to the Wrecking Crew. We played
Yeah.
in the town square.
Right. Yeah.
And that was a blast. I mean,
Yeah,
that was a
I'm
lot
sorry I
of work.
missed that.
but
People
Man,
said
that
it
was
was
cool.
great.
I got to play classical gas with a whole band
Ooh.
playing behind me. It was really neat.
That was the most amount of mics I've ever used on one stage at one time. I think we had 18 mics.
Yeah, with
on.
no
my
sound
Lord.
check.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, but that was really fun. It was actually more fun putting it all together than it was actually playing it, I think. But
What was it? Yeah. Yeah.
the rehearsals were a
Right.
groove. And,
Huh, good. What's
So-
the name of the swing band?
Chris Noel's Burning House.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and-
And based in Duncan or
No,
Nanaimo?
Ladysmith.
Ladysmith.
Yeah,
Oh, neat.
I live in Ladysmith. The piano
found-
player lives in Saltaire.
Good. So you met some people close to where you're living, which
Yeah,
is nice.
yeah. We jam every week. We get together once a week. And
Yeah.
if we got no gigs, we don't rehearse. We just sort of jam jazz tunes and
Right.
play around with music. However we want. The piano player, Dave, he plays at the theater in Chemainus.
Yeah.
He's a very,
Oh, nice.
Very good piano player.
Huh. Good crew.
Yeah, very good. I'm fortunate enough to met some good guys in
Yeah.
10 minutes away.
Good makes a big difference, eh?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing your music and your stories. Very enjoyable.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
You betcha. And, we're going to see you on the 15th, right, Gene? For the Toilet Paper Drive.
Yep.
And the 17th for our final show of the season. Before we say goodnight, thanks to everybody. Thanks to our studio audience, Longevity John and Dr. Ted and Brian Gauci for coming out and being our special guest.
B flat, Brian.
B flat.
Well, good night, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show. Well, good night, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show. Well, come back on the 17th and we'll play you some more. Well, good night, everybody. Hope you had a good time. Well, good night, everybody. Hope you had a good time. Well, you know, we're gonna play Sublime. Come on, Billy.
I said goodnight, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this show. Oh, yeah. I said goodnight, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this show. With Brian Gauci and his friends, I couldn't ask for any more. Could we, Gene? Could we now? 95.
Take
Yeah.
it, Brian. Say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Well, 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 come on back again and we'll play you some more. Oh, I say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Well, good night, everybody. some on.
All right. Thanks to Brian Gauci, Longevity John, Dr. Ted Cadillac. This is the Eugene and Billy Show, and thanks to our studio audience and all those out there in the airwaves. We'll see you on the 17th. Good night. Goodbye
Good night.
now. Hello.
Good night, everybody. Little park, oh, just along the way. And all the children and grown-ups were gathered round. Something was going on. It was one of them bright sunny days. Punch and Judy were doing their thing. Let's get pop, 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 let's go.